Part 36. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 359. Before they entered the Holy Light City, a fragrant breeze blew towards them. This was a mature woman in her 30s, wearing a dazzling dark purple robe, with a charming face and a curvy figure. Although she looked a little old, she still had her charm. When he saw this woman, King Li's face changed obviously. Was he embarrassed or something? Li Hui did the same, lowering his eyebrows and looking pleasing. Who is this person? Ye Jing and Zhao Danggong were full of doubts. Isn't this King Li of Blue Star? How come he has time to visit Holy Light City? The purple-robed woman came slowly with a faint fragrance, and her tone was weird. Li Wang's face was uncertain, his eyes were erratic, and he said in a deep voice, "Holy Light City is not yours, why can't I come?" The purple-robed woman sneered, "Sorry, my father is the president of the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce, and Holy Light City is my home." While speaking, she stretched out her white finger painted with attractive nail polish, pointed to the door, and said coldly, "Holy Light City does not welcome people from Li Wang City, please go out." My goodness, what a big identity. The daughter of the president of the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce. This identity should be considered domineering in the entire solar system, right? Ye Jing said in shock. Li Wang's face was dark. "I came with an invitation letter, you have no right to drive me away, make way." "I sent your invitation letter." The purple-robed woman smiled and said, "I sent your invitation letter and then drove you out. This feeling is really wonderful. Devil. This is simply a slap in the face. And it's a slap in the face of Li Wang." In an instant, King Li's face turned green, and he knew something was wrong. "Piao Miao. I don't have time to mess around with you. Get out of the way. I don't have time to mess around with you. Get out." The two of them were arguing at the gate of Shengguang City, without any big boss style. Taking advantage of this time, Ye Jing whispered to Li Hui, "Uncle Li, what is their relationship? You are so intimate." A trace of sweat appeared on Li Hui's forehead. After wiping it, he whispered, "What is the relationship between a charming man and a beautiful woman?" A heart-wrenching past. Ye Jing's eyes lit up, and his gossipy heart suddenly arose. Li Hui stole a glance at the quarreling Li Wang and Piao Miao, and couldn't help but say, "This woman is Li Wang's rival in the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce. Of course, she is not a real rival. 20 years ago, when Li Wang first entered the extraordinary world, he traveled in the Star Sea for trials and met Piao Miao by chance. The two traveled together and then fell in love. Then I don't know why they fell out, and their very close relationship became what it is now. They haven't reconciled until now, and one of them is still single." Ye Jing took a breath. "How many years have they been traveling together?" 5 years. "Uncle Li, 5 years, did they do that?" Li Hui rolled his eyes. "That's 5 years. What do you think?" Ye Jing shouted subconsciously, and couldn't help but say what was in his heart. "Isn't that a one-time affair?" He couldn't suppress his voice, and his tone rose by more than 10 decibels, instantly attracting everyone's attention. Two sharp eyes like knives scraped at Ye Jing, and he knew that he might die. After this, Li Hui secretly gave Ye Jing a thumbs up, and then quietly left. Li Wang looked at Ye Jing with a gloomy face, and the violent aura of his body was looming, as if he could not suppress it. On the other side, the woman called Piao Miao had a blush on her face, and her expression became a little tangled. After a few seconds of silence, Piao Miao suddenly said, "Who are these two little ghosts?" "Your son." Li Wang had a black line on his face. "Bullshit. This is the junior of Li Wang City, brought out to see the world." "Oh, junior." Piao Miao seemed to be secretly relieved, and her big, smooth eyes lit up. A gust of fragrant wind passed by, and Yejing felt that he was wrapped in softness. Not only he had this feeling, but also Zhao Dangang. I don't know when, under the eyes of Li Wang, the two were held in Piao Miao's arms. Is this considered face-to-face NTR? I think I might really die. Two little fresh meats, so cute. Young people are good. Look at this skin, white and tender. Piao Miao happily hugged the two little ghosts in her arms and kneaded them. She was happy. Yejing was about to cry, and Zhao Dangang on the other side had already started to think about his will. Hu. Li Wang's breathing suddenly became rapid, his eyes were red, and the thunder force in his body suddenly burst out. I haven't hugged you for more than 10 years, and you two guys took advantage of it? After Yejing felt the breath of death, his whole body trembled, and he pushed it out without any nostalgia. While leaving his arms, he didn't forget to pull his brother. Why are you running? What are you afraid of with me here? If it doesn't work, come to the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce, I'll protect you. Piao Miao said a little dissatisfied. This is quite touching. Yejing forced a stiff smile on his face and greeted, Aunt Piao Miao, hello. My name is Yejing. Piao Miao said angrily, why do you call me aunt? Call me sister. Am I so old again? Sister. I can't scream. King Li should be over 100 years old now, and the woman who can date King Li is probably around this age. Despite her beautiful appearance, she is only in her 30s, but her age is real. She is more than enough to be Yejing's grandma. It is precisely because of his age that Yejing appears to be very respectful. He has been in society for a while and has a sweet mouth, so he naturally knows what women like to hear. Yejing pretended to be obedient and said, hello Sister Piao Miao, Sister Piao Miao is so young. Sister Piao Miao's extraordinary temperament is like a fairy coming from heaven. After saying that, he slapped Zhao horizontally without leaving any trace. Zhao Hanbang understood, nodded, and bowed. Sister Piao Miao is unparalleled in her grace. Li Hui. King Li. No wonder young people are so popular. Who doesn't want to hear this? Let King Li speak. Can King Li speak out? Piao Miao's face suddenly turned rosy, and she looked extremely happy. She subconsciously wanted to hug Yejing and Zhao horizontal bar, but they avoided them. She said regretfully, it sounds nice, but I am older. Otherwise, my father wouldn't be able to urge me to get married every day. As she spoke, she looked at King Li with a resentful look. King Li is ashamed. Okay, for the sake of this junior, you can go in. Piao Miao said sadly. She suddenly leaned into Yejing's ear and whispered, little devils, my room is on the 3rd floor. You are welcome to visit me if you have time. Sister. When you say it, can you not let King Li hear it? Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 360. The world is a huge ensemble drama, and I am just one of them. Yejing grew thought. Aunt Piao Miao came and went in a hurry. Under the watchful eyes of Yejing and others, she took a phone call and left in a hurry. Little darlings, come and sit at my place when you have time. King Li watched Piao Miao leave quietly, with a hint of helplessness on his face. When Yejing saw King Li and Piao Miao looking like this, he knew that Lang Yuking was interested in concubine. He couldn't help but curiously ask Li Hui, Uncle Li, do you know why the two of them had a falling out? Not sure. Li Hui shook his head. Many years ago, I vaguely heard words about getting married and giving up King Li's city, but King Li never paid attention to it. But this is true. After all, the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce is one of the largest forces in the Star Sea, and Li Wang City's scope of influence is only in Blue Star. What's more, the reason why Li Wang City is famous is because of Li Wang's existence. What about a poor boy marrying into a wealthy family? Yejing expressed that he was very envious. Why are there not many beautiful girls who want to marry me? I promise to agree without saying a word, even if I have 10 children with only one surname, yet. However, he did not expect that King Li, who was all-powerful in Blue Star, would be looked down upon by others. He really didn't know what kind of person the president of the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce was. King Li's ears twitched and he heard their discussion. He turned his head expressionlessly and looked at Yejing and Zhao horizontal bar coldly. If you can't get out the Brontosaurus egg, you two don't have to come back. This is revenge. Yejing was speechless. His Royal Highness, since you want it, go ahead and ask for it. Will Npiao Miao still refuse to give it to you? King Li glanced at him sideways and said with disdain, what does a little brat know? He asked me to ask a woman for something. King Li can't afford to lose face. Then it's not a shame to steal. What's more, stealing from his own woman's house? He scratched his head. He really didn't want to go. If he went, his life or death would be unknown. Yejing said unwillingly, how about spending money to buy it, and Piao Miao will definitely reduce the price. No money. King Li said calmly, when have you ever seen me use such luxury goods? My means of transportation are only aircraft worth tens of millions. The huge Liwang city is only a relatively young force. Most of the expenses of the entire Liwang city are paid for by himself, so he still has spare money to buy such expensive things. Even if there were, he wouldn't be able to part with it. Maybe this is a stingy man. At this moment, a steward in a black suit came from inside Holy Light City. After bowing slightly to King Li and others, he said, the eldest lady sent me to greet all distinguished guests. Please follow me to the banquet hall. King Li nodded, and Li Hui followed. Yejing and Zhao Xingban also followed at the end with expressions of despair. You two, get ready for action. King Li sent a message. Then, take action. Several people followed the steward and walked in the passage. When no one was around, Yejing suddenly entered the furnace space and opened one of the rarely used but very practical functions at an extremely fast speed. Explore. I almost forgot about this. Yes, this is what Yejing came up with after staying up all night last night. If you want to reach the final treasure house, you will definitely encounter many obstacles, either patrol groups or guards. How to avoid these people depends on exploration. After opening exploration, a blank template appears. Target, people. Range, 50 meters in radius. Whether to consume 5,000 spirit stones to explore. Yes. As Yejing's order was given, a map appeared in his mind, like a radar. This exploration map only shows a radius of 50 meters. On the map, the green dot represents Yejing, and next to the green dot, there are 4 red dots, which represent Li Wang and others. In addition, there are red dots moving in the southeast, east, and west directions of the exploration map. After observing the surrounding environment, Yejing glanced at Zhao horizontal bar and mouthed a direction quietly. Right side. Zhao Hanbang understood, nodded slightly, and while the steward wasn't paying attention, he quickly took out the golden shovel hanging on his waist and gently drew a circle on the passage door on the right. In an instant, a dark circle door suddenly appeared on the right side of the passage. Zhao horizontal bar flew in and Yejing followed closely behind. The two of them left so quietly, not even King Li and Li Hui knew about it. After the steward took them inside, Yejing put something on his body and gave Zhao a horizontal bar. One is the Omega chain taken from the eldest prince in the dungeon of the Crescent Empire. One is the spiritual energy blocking device that the third leader's henchmen put on him. These two things are so amazing that they directly seal their energy fluctuations. And the energy fluctuations that practitioners can detect are of no use to the two of them. After Yejing also got into the black hole disappeared, as if it had never appeared before. On the other side of the silver-white passage, Yejing and Zhao were leaning against the wall tremblingly on the horizontal bar, breathing heavily, with inexplicable excitement on their faces. Zhao Xingbang lowered his voice and said excitedly, "Mata, we work together perfectly. I feel like we have a chance this time." Yejing also breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Let's take a look first. Who knows what we can encounter along the way." Last night, the two of them stayed up all night and imagined many times before they came up with this method. Yejing was responsible for detecting the actions of other life characteristics, and Zhao Danggong was responsible for cutting space with a golden shovel to move, just a little bit, from the bottom of the Holy Light City to the treasure house on the top floor. "How do you know the location of others? Can you detect it?" Zhao Danggong asked curiously. Yejing did not answer directly, "Just think of it as a unique secret skill, just like the secret skill of your gold digging section." Zhao Danggong stopped asking after saying that. Everyone has their own secrets, and asking questions is not good. "I feel that the two of us can become the strongest thieves in the Star Sea, what do you think? Otherwise, let's form a group in the future and steal all over the Star Sea. After I think of the group name, it's the Jinggang Group. What do you think? Jinggang Group? I don't think it's very good." Yejing's face was dark. "We can talk about this later. We have something important to do now." He was not going to agree to it. He gave up the bright future of Blue Star and followed him to live a lazy life and wander around the world. Don't dream. After Yejing finished speaking, he turned on the exploration function again. Target, people. Exploration range, 50 meters. Do you want to consume 5,000 spirit stones to explore? Yes. Each exploration distance is set to 50 meters, which is convenient for two people to move. After all, after the energy is blocked, they are ordinary people, and it takes several seconds to move 50 meters. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bouletin G. Bayet. Chapter 361. After the exploration, Yejing's brain radar sent out invisible fluctuations, completely covering a 50-meter radius, leaving all humans with nowhere to hide. There are patrols in 3 of the 8 directions and 4 passages. Yejing moved to the opposite wall first and said, "Cut it open." Zhao horizontal bar complied, and after cutting the wall, the two of them changed places. After entering, Yejing first looked at the surrounding environment. This was no longer a passage, but a dark warehouse filled with metal. Yejing stepped on the box and reached out to touch the ceiling a few times. "Here, cut away, let's go to the second floor." "Huh? Oh." Zhao Xingbang was slightly startled and walked over in a hurry. Yejing felt a little worried when he saw Zhao walking on the horizontal bar and loading things into his storage equipment. "I didn't even take it, so you took it first?" Zhao Hanbang also knows what the business is, but he can't control his dirty hands. After taking out the mysterious golden shovel and making a circle on the ceiling, Yejing first stepped on Zhao's shoulder and climbed up, and then pulled Zhao up on the horizontal bar. Fortunately, even though they had attached themselves to omega chains and sealed the spiritual energy fluctuations, their physical strength was still there. Otherwise, just moving would have been enough for them. After going up to the second floor, Yejing opened exploration. Target, people. Range, 100 meters. This time, he directly searched 100 meters, but his target was not the second floor, but the third floor. He didn't plan to stop on the second and third floors, and was going to go straight to the fourth floor and head to the final treasure house. After the brain radar came out, Yejing frowned. There were obviously many more patrols on the second floor than on the first floor, and even more so on the third floor. The red dots were densely packed. There were 3 red dots even directly above them. Not this place. Yejing thought. In his mind, he simulated a road with no one on the second to third floors using a radius of 100 meters as the limit, and began to give instructions to Zhao horizontal bar. Cut the southeast corner of the room. The west side of the passage, cut open. Quick, keep cutting. Transfer, enter the room on the left, there is no one. In just 10 seconds, after 4 consecutive moves, Yejing arrived at a room where they could safely go up to the 3rd floor. Yejing was not tired, but Zhao was tired on the horizontal bar. At some point, a few strands of white hair appeared on his hair. As if Zhao Xingbang had some sense, he reached out and pulled out the white hair on his head, wailing, "My life! Brother, can you be more accurate?" For it. Yejing was at a loss for words. He had almost forgotten that he had heard Zhao Xiangbang mention it before. The energy consumed by his golden shovel was his lifespan. Although he didn't know whether it was calculated in days or years, but in this way if you go down, you may really die. Don't worry. Yejing patted Zhao Xingbar's shoulder and comforted him. I remember that the Baidu Star pirates captured an elf master and planned to exchange it for the spring of life. I will get you some to make up for it when the time comes. Is this how to supplement lifespan? Zhao Hanban said feebly, forget it, hurry up. After succeeding this time, I will definitely have to rest for a while, otherwise my lifespan will not be able to bear it. Yejing responded first, then pointed to the top of his head and said, then go ahead, cut the top and go to the 3rd layer. It's really killing me. Zhao Hanban sighed in his heart, but he still cut open the ceiling honestly. This time, I'll step on you. For the sake of your life, step on it. After going up to the 3rd floor, Yejing was obviously a little anxious. In the empty and closed room, heavy footsteps could occasionally be heard outside the wall. There was obviously no one there when we explored just now, so why are we moving here now? After Yejing took a deep breath, he couldn't help but speed up. Explore. Target, people. Range, 300 meters. Whether to consume 30,000 spirit stones. Yes. In an instant, a virtual map with a radius of 300 meters appeared in Yejing's mind. The radar fluctuations spread quietly, and dozens of red dots appeared one after another, covering all aspects. Yejing's face turned gloomy. On the 3-dimensional maps on the 3rd and 4th floors, there is a red dot almost every 10 meters, and it is impossible to miss the location. This is bad news, but there is also good news. That is, there is a translucent building on the 4th floor. The building is surrounded by rows of red dots, making it airtight. This should be the final treasure house, where the Brontosaurus eggs exist. And their destination is within a radius of 300 meters. Yejing closed her eyes tightly and was immersed in the virtual map, thinking about countermeasures. How to get up there? It is impossible to enter the 4th floor directly. The final treasure house is so tightly surrounded that it is impossible to enter the final treasure house from the 4th floor. There is no way around, there are only above and below, and they are below now. Now, most importantly, move to just below the final treasure trove. Yejing suddenly opened his eyes, and there was light shining between his sword-shaped eyebrows. He said in a deep voice, "Follow me." After that, he pushed open the door to the closed room and walked into the passage unscrupulously. This may be the self-confidence of the strong. I'm not talking about Yejing, but I'm talking about the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce. Because they trusted the practitioners too much, there was not a single surveillance camera in the entire Holy Light City warship. But it was also because the surveillance cameras conflicted with the duties of most of the patrolling practitioners. Once the surveillance cameras were installed, it meant that the practitioners of the Chamber of Commerce were not trusted. It was this point that gave the two of them an opportunity. Ordinary people could not get close to the Holy Light City, and the two of them followed King Li in. After entering, they blocked the energy fluctuations and became two mice, sneaking into the Holy Light City. Without surveillance, Yejing walked in the passage so swaggeringly, and Zhao Danggong followed him fearfully. This way. Yejing pointed to the silver wall next to him and said. Brother, be steady. Zhao Danggong said with some fear. Walking in someone else's house so swaggeringly can really scare people to death. This time, every time he moved, Yejing started exploring and recorded the movement trajectory of the surrounding patrol personnel. After 3 times, they stood directly below the final treasure house. Everything went so smoothly. But, can everything really go so smoothly? Is it too smooth? A layer of black fog covered Yejing's heart, and an ominous premonition arose spontaneously. Forget it. Yejing pointed upwards and said solemnly, this is our destination, act quickly and make a quick decision. Yes. Zhao Danggong's expression tightened, and he nodded heavily, then carefully cut the ceiling. A black hole appeared, and the two of them got in together. Finally arrived. Yejing and Zhao Danggong were happy, but before they could look around, a face that frightened them appeared in front of them. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 362. Life is full of surprises. This was the first thought in Yejing's mind. The two of them went through many obstacles along the way and killed everyone. They went through a lot of hardships to get to this place. Who would have thought that there was actually a person here? This face scared the hearts of both of them. What kind of face is this? How should I put it? It's ugly beyond words. There are 2 huge scars on the ferocious face. The scars are intertwined in an X shape and run through the entire ugly face. The ugly face is full of wrinkles and distortions, and even has black spots. Just such a face, in the dark and shadowless room, made the two of them feel as if they had seen a ghost. Yejing and Zhao Xiangbo looked like they had seen a ghost, and the owner of the ugly face also looked surprised. It was like 2 mice suddenly appeared in your clean home, inexplicably. Have the guards outside got shit in their heads? How did 2 people get in? Before the ugly-faced man could say anything, Zhao moved the horizontal bar first. Zhao Xingbang suddenly raised the golden shovel in his hand, and placed the shovel on the ugly-faced man's forehead. Bang! There was a muffled sound, and the ugly-faced man fell down. Yejing was surprised and said, "Damn it! What are you doing? Don't you feel that he is just an ordinary person?" Zhao Xingbang nodded, "I feel it." "Then you're going to slap him on the head?" "Feng Lao Kanzu, don't slap him to death all at once. Don't worry, I'm measured in my actions. Even if it's an old guard, I won't shoot him to death directly." "For it." Yejing was speechless and looked down at the old man lying on the ground with his eyes closed. As long as he was breathing, they were really not cruel enough to kill an ordinary person to achieve their goal. Just make him speechless. In fact, Yejing was quite puzzled. Why? I obviously didn't see the red dot display on the radar in my head, so why is there a person here? Although he was confused, it was obvious that now was not the time to think about this. The cold wind hit, and they began to move around in large numbers. This is a completely enclosed space, with dim light but very dim. The center is empty, with crystal-like counters placed in the surrounding corners. You can vaguely see something placed on the counter. Some kind of treasure that makes their hearts palpitate. Don't worry about this old man. Let's split up. You look over there and I'll look over here. Get it and leave. Zhao Hanbang urged, although this kind of place is tempting, it is also scary. It is not a place where a kid like him can stay for a long time. Every second he stays, he is closer to death. Yejing nodded, and the two of them split up, one on the left and one on the right. At this time, Zhao moved quickly on the horizontal bar, A dark shadow flashed past, and he rushed directly to the counter and started groping. Inside each crystal counter, there is a precious treasure quietly placed. These are the peerless treasures that the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce is preparing to sell at the final auction. Zhao Xingbang's eyes narrowed, and the first time he looked at the counter, his eyes began to light up, and his hands trembled, as if he could no longer suppress it. Oh my God! Is this the legendary Zero Kong City site? Zhao Xingbang looked excited and said in a trembling tone. There was a silver city model on the counter in front of him. The model looked very ordinary, like a child's toy. But the things that can be put in here, could they be toys? Impossible. Zhao Xingbang is well informed and recognized him at first sight. This is a strategic secret treasure refined by an extraordinary master of the space system of a foreign race. Zero empty city site? According to legend, as long as energy is injected into the Zero Sky City site, the space will expand infinitely, and living creatures can also exist. Back then, it was because of this secret treasure that a certain alien race faced the enemy and dropped thousands of troops from the sky. Divine soldiers descended from the sky and defeated them. The Lingkong City site, which only appeared once and then disappeared, unexpectedly appeared in the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce. So, is this the foundation of the legend? Not to be offended. Zhao Xingbang couldn't control his hands anymore, his eyes were red and greedy. If he took this back, he wouldn't have to work for the rest of his life and could just eat and wait to die. Does he dare to take it? He really dared to take it? Zhao Xingbang's mind was swallowed up by desire in an instant. He raised the golden shovel and suddenly moved it towards the crystal cabinet at the Lingkong City site. The next second, before he could fall, a hand grasped his arm. Yejing said expressionlessly, "What do you want to do?" Zhao Xingbang's face stiffened and he smiled awkwardly, "I just want to see if the thing inside is actually a Thunder Dragon egg." Yejing pointed at the city model with a dark face and said, "Do you think it looks like a Thunder Dragon egg?" Zhao Xingbang said, "Who knows whether its appearance will change, I just want to confirm." "You are so sure?" Yejing didn't know how to complain. He warned with a sullen face, "I advise you not to think about other things and don't forget the purpose of our trip. If you only take one Thunder Dragon egg, King Li can suppress it. We have to go down, but even if we steal other things, the gods won't be able to save us by then. Greed is the original sin." Zhao Xiangbang was about to cry but had no tears. "I just can't control my hands, what should I do? Cut it or chop it? It's up to you." Yejing said helplessly, "Let's act together, so I can keep an eye on you." The two of them searched together, and the efficiency was immediately reduced by half, but there was no other way. He had to keep an eye on Zhao Danggong. Who knew if he would find something? While the two were talking, no one noticed. The old man who was lying unconscious on the ground suddenly opened his eyes, and a pair of green eyes radiated light in the darkness, which was very creepy. The two began to look for their target, the Thunder Dragon egg, along the counter. A few steps away, Zhao Danggong's exclamation was heard. This can't be a branch of the world tree? It weighs dozens of kilograms. How did they get it? No, it's just a dead branch. My God! Look at this, is it a fragment of the core of a planet? This is the core of a planet. The Holy Light Chamber of Commerce is selling it. No, it's just a piece of stone. Wait. Don't stop me, a few meters long Omega sublight. Let me do it, brother. Zhao Danggong had a sad face, he could no longer suppress his excitement. Omega sublight. Yejing was slightly stunned, his eyes shining. Split it open. Divide it equally. Stop. Yejing, what's wrong with you? This is not our goal. Stop talking nonsense, split it open. Calm down. Calm down. This time it was Zhao Danggong's turn to persuade Yejing. The two quarreled for a while before Yejing calmed down. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Buletin Ji Bayet. Chapter 363. Go on. Yejing reluctantly moved his eyes away from the Omega sublight. He was not tempted by the secret treasures that he did not recognize, but he had no reason not to be tempted by the high-level energy. Everything in the entire treasure house is beyond their reach. This feeling of being able to only see but not touch is really uncomfortable. After searching for a long time, they found the Brontosaurus egg in the crystal cabinet at the end. This is an egg that is a little smaller than a football, oval in shape, with a light purple surface, and several thunderbolts that change from heaven to earth. After seeing the target, Yejing finally breathed a sigh of relief. That's it, right? Zhao Xingbang nodded, swallowed, and slowly placed his golden shovel on the crystal counter where the Brontosaurus egg was placed. A gentle stroke. A trace of piercing the sky appeared silently. In the blink of an eye, the crystal counter was cut open by him. Zhao Xingbang carefully and gently took out the Thunder Dragon egg. The cold and biting touch made his whole body tremble. Where should I put this thing? Zhao Xingbang asked. Both of them have spiritual energy limitations and cannot open the storage space at all. Yejing pondered, where is your independent space? The one opened with the golden shovel. Zhao Xingbang shook his head, no, then we have to use spiritual energy. Then you can only hold it? Yejing said helplessly that the two of them did not dare to unlock the spiritual energy restrictions. Once they were unlocked, the energy aura would leak out and an endless army of practitioners would be waiting for them. I'm holding it. Zhao Xingbang looked stunned. He looked at the Thunder Dragon egg as big as a football in his arms. How could he hold this thing? Doesn't this clearly tell others that they are thieves? It's okay, as long as you don't meet other people, it'll be fine. Yejing patted Zhao Xingban on the shoulder and continued, let's go back the way we came and go directly to find King Li. Then here's the problem. Where can we find King Li? Suddenly, their expressions became serious, and they both fell into deep thought. This is a very serious problem. They don't know where King Li is now. An aura of embarrassment gathered around him. How about we go back to the first floor and find a warehouse to wait at the door? Okay, that makes sense. Zhao Xingbang nodded, and the two of them turned their heads and were about to return the same way. A deep voice came from both of their ears. Instantly, terrifying. Got it? At some point, a rickety figure appeared in front of the two of them, staring directly at them with green eyes. Damn it! When did this person wake up? Yejing and Zhao Xingbang's expressions changed greatly. When it comes to being cruel and ruthless, it's Zhao Xingbang. Zhao horizontal bar raised the golden shovel again and slapped it directly on the old man's forehead. But this time it wasn't as smooth as before. The old man didn't fall. Zhao Xingbang was shocked, am I weak? When he was surprised, he increased his strength and hit the old man's forehead with another shovel. It hasn't fallen yet. You're working hard. Yejing said anxiously. I worked hard. Zhao Hanbang was slightly angry and hit the old man on the forehead with a shovel several times. Bang 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 bang. 4 hits. However, the old man still looked at them with penetrating eyes. OMG. Could it be that you saw a ghost? Zhao Xingbang's whole body trembled, and a premonition arose in his heart. He said in a trembling voice, even a practitioner may not be able to withstand the direct blow of the golden shovel, let alone an ordinary person. Yejing was stunned for a moment, turned to look at him and said, what do you mean? He knew what it meant. He also understood. Why is this old man not showing up on the radar? The old man's aura was that of a mortal, without any energy fluctuations. However, it is impossible for such a mortal breath to be able to withstand Zhao's horizontal bar blow. Wrong. There is another possibility. That was the upper limit of the old man's aura, and it was no longer something the two of them could detect. For example, a semi-saint from the three disaster realms. Moreover, Yejing suddenly remembered that the keyword he searched on the radar was people. In other words, creatures other than humans will not be displayed. In an instant, Yejing's whole body trembled suddenly. He looked at the old man with horrifying eyes, and said in a dry tone, "Are you old, not a human being?" The old man nodded silently. Yejing Shuang burst into tears, with a smile that was uglier than crying, "You are an old, half-saint." The old man nodded again. "All hits." The old man looked at them indifferently, opened his dry lips, and a hoarse voice came from his mouth. "I am a demon beast in the sea of stars. I have an old relationship with the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce. I was invited by the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce to guard the final treasure house." Awesome. Capital letters are awesome. Yejing and Zhao Hanban were both confused and didn't know what to do. The legendary Taoist who feeds on the heaven and earth is the most powerful semi-saint in the solar system. Just such two ruthless names, combined into one person, were met by the two of them. They knew that the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce had invited the semi-saint guardian Holy Light City battleship, but they did not expect that it was not a human being. Yejing even wanted to die now. Why didn't he think of this? When searching at that time, it was not written as a human, but a creature, so that was the end of it, wasn't it? What should I do now? Yejing forced a smile, pulled the Thunder Dragon egg from Zhao Danggong's arms, and said, "Let's go back now and pretend nothing happened, okay? Do you think it's okay?" The old Mandogui licked his lips that had been dry for a long time, and a perverted smile appeared on his ugly face. "I haven't eaten human beings for a long time." With a snap, Zhao Danggong's legs were weak, and he was frightened by the sentence and fell to the ground. "Don't eat us. Stinky men's food is not tasty. It's okay to eat fresh food." The old man Dowdy stretched out his old hand and reached out to Yejing. He didn't take the Thunder Dragon egg, but touched Yejing's face and praised, "Young people are good. This skin is so tender and handsome." Yejing's face was sweating immediately. "Excuse me, can War of Sorrow withstand Dowdy's second bite?" "It seems not." Yejing's head was about to smoke. His body didn't move at all. It's not that he didn't dare to move, but that he couldn't move at all. As if the space around him was blocked, his body was completely fixed in place. No matter how he struggled, he couldn't move a bit. Is this considered dying? Yejing's brain was spinning rapidly, and suddenly a flash of inspiration came to him, and a sentence came out of his mouth. "I know the eldest lady of the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce, Aunt Piao Miao. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Why are all of them passive skills?" Author, Bouletin G. Bayet. Chapter 364. The sky is vast, the wilderness is vast, and the wind blows through the grass to reveal Dowdy. Yejing didn't know if Dowdy would eat people alive, but he knew that if they didn't call for help at this time, the two of them would explode. In Shengguang City, the only person who could save them was the eldest lady of Shengguang Chamber of Commerce, Piao Miao. In a hurry, Yejing directly threw out Aunt Piao Miao, whom he had only met once. "Little Piao Miao." A glimmer of light flashed in the eyes of the old man Dowdy, and he said in a hoarse voice, "How did you two little guys know little Piao Miao?" Yejing's brain was spinning rapidly, and his thoughts were endless. In order to save his life, he sold Li Wang without hesitation. "Do you know Li Wang? He is Aunt Piao Miao's boyfriend. He brought us here." Good man, if Li Wang heard this, he would have to cut him into pieces. Hearing what Yejing said, the old Mandogui showed a trace of deep thought on his face, and muttered to himself, "I seem to have heard that Xiao Piao Miao has a man before, but I didn't expect it to be true. But the old Mandogui looked at Yejing, who was holding the Thunder Dragon egg in his arms, expressionlessly, and said coldly, "Since we know each other, why did you come to the Holy Light Chamber of Commerce to steal things?" "Because." Yejing's forehead was sweating profusely. He hesitated for a long time before gritted his teeth and said a reason. "Because, King Li can't afford it. The bow has been shot and there is no turning back." Yejing continued to speak along this beginning. "The Thunder Dragon egg is priceless. The Li King is too poor to buy it, and he is too embarrassed to ask Aunt Biao Miao for it. He can only resort to this last resort. Let the two of us go and steal the Thunder Dragon egg." Old Mandogui. He had also heard about the rumors of the Blue Star Li King. According to the rumors, the Li King had more than a dozen large treasure houses and his own Li King city. His power was also one of the best on Blue Star. How could it be so unbearable in the mouths of these two young people? Is the rumor wrong, or is he lying? The Li King is insidious and cunning, embarrassed and stingy, and you can't fall in love with him. "You must tell Aunt Biao Miao to find a new love when you go back," Yejing said. Zhao Danggong was already huddled together, trembling and unable to speak. He was too timid, too cowardly, and too scared to death. Yejing gave him a contemptuous look. It was shameful to come out with him. On the other side, the Prince Li, who was chatting and laughing in the banquet hall, suddenly sneezed several times, looking puzzled. "Is someone scolding me? Does anyone dare to scold me?" Yejing is a professional in interrupting and changing the subject. He quietly held the Thunder Dragon egg with one hand, turned it behind his back, and left the side of the old Mandogui. He also pulled the Prince Li and Biao Miao out as shields to bring them closer, in order to gradually eliminate the hostility of the old Mandogui. After a series of nonsense, Yejing could clearly feel that the hostility of the old Mandogui had subsided. At least he would not pursue the matter of Zhao Danggong hitting him with a few shovels. However, the old Mandogui still had a trace of concern and vigilance, and did not directly believe Yejing's words. The old Mandogui said calmly, "In that case, you said you knew Biao Miao. As long as you show evidence, I won't pursue your theft. After all, I'm just a gatekeeper." But a strong murderous intent flashed in the eyes of the old Mandogui. He licked his dry lips and said in a deep voice, "If you can't show evidence, don't blame me for being merciless." Ying ying ying. Evidence. The first thing Yejing thought of was the house number that Aunt Biao Miao told him, and a confident smile suddenly appeared on his face. "Aunt Biao Miao's room is on the 3rd floor, number 1. She invited us to sit there before. This should be considered evidence. After all, not everyone can know the information." Yet, after hearing this, the old Mandogui's expression eased, and the hand that was originally prepared to grab Yejing also stretched out. "If that's the case, then this matter is this." Suddenly, just when Yejing was about to breathe a sigh of relief, his face suddenly showed an extremely horrified expression, and his eyes widened instantly, as if his eyeballs were about to pop out. I damn it. No. Before Yejing could say these two words, his heart fell into the abyss. Zhao Danggong, who had no sense of existence, stood up at some point, and at some point he untied his spiritual energy limiter. When Yejing and the old Mandogui were talking and not paying attention, he quietly raised the golden shovel and stood behind the old Mandogui. Suddenly, the golden shovel flashed with golden light, and in the golden light, there was also a thick dark light. That was Zhao Danggong's mutant spiritual energy, the dark spiritual energy. Bang! A shovel. The golden shovel, which was rolled with golden light and dark spiritual energy, suddenly hit the back of the old Mandogui's head without any notice. In an instant, the defenseless old Mandogui's brain sank and he fell to the ground. This was a blow that ignored defense. This time, the old man Dogui was really knocked unconscious. What are you doing? Yejing looked at Zhao Danggong with despair, his face was ashen. He never thought that Zhao Danggong would dare to shoot until his death. Zhao Danggong looked at a loss, isn't he going to eat us? I'm just taking the initiative. Brother, can you listen to others' words completely? Yejing couldn't even cry now. He always thought that Zhao Danggong was a coward who couldn't be trusted at critical moments, but he didn't expect that the more cowardly a person is, the more ruthless he is. You dare to shoot a half-saint in the Three Disasters realm? You are going to die? He would rather Zhao Danggong be a coward to the end. Yejing looked at the Dogui old man who fell unconscious on the ground, and was extremely panicked. What should he do now? What should he do now? A ruthless man, a werewolf, a man of wolf fire. Yejing trembled and gave Zhao Danggong a thumbs up. Zhao Danggong scratched the back of his head and said shyly, I had no choice. I am not praising you. Huh. Yejing took a deep breath, forced to calm down the shock and panic in his heart, and asked, how long will he be unconscious? Zhao Danggong waved the golden shovel and said triumphantly, about a minute. I didn't expect the golden shovel to be able to knock out the half-saint, I just want to try it. Try it? You really dare to try it, aren't you afraid of dying if you try it? 1 minute, their lives began to count down, and the last minute was less than a minute. What are you waiting for? Yejing's eyes widened. Run. He quickly turned on the exploration radar in the furnace and confirmed in an instant that there was no one directly below him. He grabbed Zhao Danggong's arm and said quickly, down there. Quick. Down there. Zhao Danggong was slightly stunned and then reacted. Brother, can you please be a little more urgent? Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 365. This time, the gluttonous old man really fainted. He never expected that Zhao Hanbang would dare to take action after learning his identity. He was unprepared and was so easily killed by Zhao Hanbang's golden shovel. Fell down. No one stopped him. Zhao horizontal bar first installed the spiritual energy limiter on himself, and then used a golden shovel to draw a circle on the ground, and a black hole suddenly appeared. Walk. The two isolated the space and returned to the third floor again. Just now, Zhao horizontal bar unlocked the spiritual energy limiter, and traces of energy fluctuations came out from the treasure house, making the many practitioners surrounding the treasure house slightly startled, and they all looked at the closed treasure house. Just now, was there energy fluctuation coming from inside? Well, I felt it too. Could it be that there was a thief? Impossible. How can a thief break in if the defense is so tight? Maybe it's an illusion. Can everyone have this illusion together? There must be something wrong. Don't worry, that old monster is inside. He can eat even a mouse, let alone a human. As soon as old man Dowdy was mentioned, all the practitioners fell silent and silently returned to their posts. After returning to the third floor, Zhao horizontal bar asked, where should we go next? Yejing replied without thinking, go to room 1 and find Piao Miao. Now, it is estimated that only Piao Miao can save them. I just don't know where room number 1 is. Yejing turned on the exploration function as if to try his luck. Target, Misty. Range, 100 meters in radius. Whether to consume 110,000 energy to explore. 100,000. A flash of astonishment flashed in Yejing's eyes. Does it take so much to find someone? However, there was no time for him to hesitate at this time. Yejing gritted his teeth and 110,000 energy was reduced to nothing. Instantly, a red dot appeared on the radar not far from them. The red dot was very close, and Yejing breathed a sigh of relief. It was fine if Aunt Piao Miao was in the room. She was afraid that she would not be able to find anyone in the room if she was not there. This way. Yejing decisively pointed to the wall on the right, and Zhao quickly opened the way with the horizontal bar. In the room, Piao Miao was lying on the bed in ecstasy. A plump woman in her 30s pretending to be a little girl, no one could resist her. At this moment, a cold light flashed in her eyes, she stared directly at the wall, and said coldly, "Who is this thief?" A black hole appeared on the wall, and Yejing and Zhao Xingbar climbed out of it. "Sister Piao Miao, it's us." Before Yejing could wait for Piao Miao to speak, he got up from the ground and said hurriedly that he was really afraid that Piao Miao would not look at people and be beaten to death by the two of them. "It's you two brats." When Piao Miao saw it was Yejing and Zhao on the horizontal bar, she immediately let go of her vigilance, sat down on the bed again, and asked with curiosity on her face, "How did you two brats get here?" As soon as she finished speaking, she saw the Thunder Dragon egg in Yejing's hand. Her face changed slightly, her eyes showed disbelief, and she said with shock, "You two went to the Holy Light Treasure House." Yejing pulled Zhao up from the horizontal bar, who was lying on the ground pretending to be dead. He nodded with a wry smile and said, "Yes, I just went there." This. Piao Miao was so shocked that she couldn't speak. She knew very well how tight the defense of the Holy Light Treasure House was. Not even two living people, not even a plankton, could get through. Then how did the two of them sneak into the treasure house from the first floor to the fourth floor under the surveillance of hundreds of practitioners, and successfully stole a Thunder Dragon egg? Does it matter? It's not important. Piao Miao opened her red lips and looked at the Thunder Dragon egg in Yejing's hand blankly, and said, "Is this what King Li asked you to steal?" Yejing nodded very honestly, "That's right, he didn't have the money to buy it, and he couldn't ask for it, so he let us steal it." Piao Miao laughed, "When did the true nature of a robber change to the true nature of a thief? Now that you have it, why don't you go back to recover and come to sister's place?" Piao Miao asked doubtfully. "Because..." Before Yejing finished speaking, his expression suddenly changed. "1 minute, it's here." From upstairs, a breath of doomsday and earth-shattering aura came down from upstairs, instantly overwhelming the entire Holy Light City. "You bastards! I'm going to eat you alive." An angry roar spread throughout the Holy Light City battleship. When the voice came, Yejing and Zhao Xingbang suddenly had despair on their faces, and Piao Miao's expressions also stiffened. She first looked at Zhao horizontal bar, then at Yejing, and said stiffly, "Did you steal it from under Grandpa Doughty's nose?" She thought Yejing and the others had sneaked into the treasure house while Doughty was away. Who would have imagined that the two of them actually stole under Tao 11's nose? Oh my god! Two kid from the underground palace realm stole something from the half-saint. What a hellish world this is. Yejing showed a smile that was uglier than crying. "Well, don't you think this made him angry? So he fled to you for refuge. Fine." Piao Miao patted her turbulent chest and said confidently, "Don't worry, sister will take care of it. When Grandpa Doughty comes to find him, I will tell him, isn't it just a cheap thing that was lost? It's a trivial matter." "Real. Real. That's good." After exhaling a breath of foul air, Yejing said cautiously, "In fact, the two of us also offended the old man." "Offended?" Piao Miao was slightly stunned, and almost laughed out loud. "You two? Offended the old man? What a joke." After saying this, she actually laughed out loud. "Tell me, how did you two little brats offend the old man and disturb his sleep?" Yejing shook his head. He first glared at the culprit Zhao Danggong fiercely, and then said with a bitter face, "Just hit the old man on the head with a shovel, a few times, and knocked him unconscious for a minute." Piao Miao's laughter stopped abruptly. The smile on her face froze directly. "Hitting the head? A few times. And knocked him unconscious?" Piao Miao suddenly stood up from the bed, looking at Yejing with a bitter smile in shock. That's right. Yejing looked at Piao Miao's frozen face and asked tentatively, Sister, can you bear this? A few seconds later, Piao Miao recovered from the shock and coughed twice. To be honest, I can't bear it. You two should go back to where you came from now. Piao Miao directly ordered them to leave. They were too fierce and too strong. It was like tearing off the face of a half-saint and throwing it on the ground, and then stepping on it hard. Who can bear this? Damn. Unreliable. Yejing cursed inwardly, and the violent and explosive breath swept over, as if it would find them in the next second. What should I do? Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 366. What kind of energy fluctuation is this? The moment the gluttonous old man became angry, the entire Holy Light City battleship trembled and staggered as if it was about to fall from the sky. This may be the power of the semi-saint. So scary. The VIPs far away in the banquet hall felt the angry atmosphere, and their faces suddenly changed. They didn't know what happened, but they just felt an inexplicable sense of fear. Since you don't know what's going on, staying away is the best thing to do. Oh, my wife asked me to go home for dinner, so I'll take my leave today. There are still more than a dozen accounts in my group that have not been sorted out, so we won't talk about them today. Let's talk about them later. You must go and sit with me in the next 2 days. Okay, let's leave today. In an instant, everyone in the banquet hall, who was still chatting and laughing, walked towards the door in unison. Although they didn't know what the reason was, the half-saint was angry and it was really not something they could watch. Maybe if they were not careful, they might not be involved in the midst of turmoil. At this time, it's better to go first. In the blink of an eye, the banquet hall of Holy Light City became empty, leaving only a few staff members and the confused-looking King Li and Li Hui. What happened? What did that half-saint say before? Bastard boy. King Li suddenly shuddered all over, and a very ominous premonition surged in his heart. No way. Probably not. Although he had heard about it in Blue Star, this kid Yejing started trouble regardless of the occasion or opponent, and he was very good at it. But, this time it's different. This is the real boss of the three disaster realm who stands at the pinnacle of the solar system. Could it be that these two boys really pissed off the half-saint? King Li originally thought that once they were caught, he could use his influence to fish them out, but this influence was only limited to the half-saints he faced. Once you meet the semi-saint boss, whatever he says is useless. It shouldn't be them, right? King Li asked Li Hui with a stiff face. Li Hui was silent, the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. I felt like he was talking about them. If not, let's go first. Li Hui suddenly suggested. No. King Li did not hesitate and refused directly. After all, it was the task he gave to Yejing and Zhao Xingban. He could not just abandon them without caring about anything. Then what should I do? Go find it? After Wang Li hesitated for a moment, he took out his mobile phone and dialed a long-dusted phone number. Other side. Piao Miao looked at the person name displayed on her phone, raised her eyebrows, then looked at Yejing and Zhao horizontal bar in despair, and suddenly sighed deeply. The old aunt really owes you. Piao Miao did not answer Li Wang's call, but turned around and hung up. With just such an action of hanging up, King Li understood immediately, his face became serious, and he turned around and walked towards the outside of Holy Light City. Just for a moment. Piao Miao said with a faint expression as she faced Yejing and Zhao horizontal bar. Yejing was slightly startled. What do you mean? Piao Miao stood up from the bed and slowly walked out of the room. I can go talk to Grandpa Dowdy. You can take advantage of this time and run away. Run. Escape. Yejing almost cried. Facing the giant glutton, where could they run? Even if he takes off all his clothes, he still can't run away. He even said that the gluttonous old man would allow him to run for 3 days and 3 nights. Piao Miao went out, and the majestic pressure like mountains and seas descended on the entire holy light city. Dark clouds filled the sky, and vague shadows like prehistoric beasts could be seen hanging in the sky, opening towards the holy light city. Bloody mouth! Show mercy! Xiao Qinglian, who was far away at the Baidu Star Station, looked up at the sky outside the window. When she saw the shadow, her face suddenly changed slightly, and an inexplicable light flashed in her green eyes. Is this a glutton from the past era? Long time no see. What is glutton? The legendary giant beast that devoured everything roamed the solar system with impunity. At the end of the last era, this glutton suddenly disappeared and no one knew where it was hiding. Unexpectedly, now that things have happened, this glutton has come out again, and he has appeared again as a semi-saint. Here I thought about Dowdy, then I thought about World Tree, and the mysterious existence on Pluto. Suddenly, Xiao Qinglian fell silent. Looking at the black gold nugget in her hand, she suddenly felt that it didn't smell good at all. Why am I so weak? Is the power of blood really so important? Does a green lotus plant have any chance of becoming a saint? Who cares about you? Yejing didn't know what to do. Piao Miao asked him to run. How could he run? He had no choice but to pin his hopes on Zhao Hanban. Yejing has seen it before, and Zhao's escape ability on the horizontal bar should not be underestimated. The first time when he was on the small planet fragments, it was clear that Zhao Xingban had been defeated, but he didn't know what secret method he used, and he suddenly disappeared without a trace. The second time was in the secret realm of the dead, against the undead knight, and it was another moment of life and death crisis. Zhao suddenly drew a formation on the horizontal bar and moved alone. Formation. Yejing's eyes lit up, and he hurriedly held Zhao Xingban's shoulders and said excitedly, "Wake up! Where's your secret technique? Hurry up and draw a picture. Draw a picture. Run." Zhao Xingbang looked ashen and said with a blank look on his face, "What are you talking about? Why are you running away now? Isn't it better to wait for death? I am already very tired in this life, so let's leave it like this." You are so tired. This is because the mind has lost its will. Yejing was merciless and slapped Zhao horizontally on the face with 2 heavy palms, which immediately turned red. "What are you doing?" Zhao Xingbang said angrily. "That's not the point." Yejing started gesticulating with his hands. "Don't you remember that you can draw formations? It's the purple 6-pointed star formation. Can't you run away after you draw it?" Yejingbai gestured and said anxiously. A ray. A glint of light flashed in Zhao Hanban's dull eyes. The secret skill of Nugget Gate, 6-star time and space. How the hell do I know what it's called? Hurry up and draw it? Yes, yes. At this time, Zhao Xingbang realized what he was doing. He felt like he was about to live after death. He hurriedly took out the golden shovel and gestured towards the ground. At this moment, the dark spiritual energy in his body surged out and appeared in the room, condensed and brilliant. Rays of deep purple light emerged from the golden shovel in his hand, and in just a few seconds, a 6-pointed star array with dazzling light appeared on the ground. Hey, my lifespan is gone. I've lost a lot of it. Why do we care about this now? If it doesn't end, we will really be dead. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Buletin G. Bayet. Chapter 367. Whether you live or die, it all depends on yourself. When Zhao's 6-star space-time on the horizontal bar was formed, the 6-pointed star array on the ground suddenly flashed with light and started to rotate crazily. Seeing this, Zhao Xingbang jumped directly onto the six-pointed star array. Hurry! It's about to be transferred. Okay. Yejing immediately stood on the six-pointed star formation. As the light shone, the sound of the two people's quarrels could be heard. Made. The lifespan of the six-star space and time depends on the number of people transferred. Remember, Yejing, you owe me 1 year of life. No, if I hadn't reminded you, you would have died. According to the lifespan of 300 years in the underground palace realm and 500 years in the destiny realm, you owe me more than 470 years of life. You idiot. After a flash of light, the two disappeared from the spot, leaving the whole room empty. The next second after they transferred, a shadow enveloped the room, swallowing up everything in the room. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. An angry old man. The roar of the gluttonous old man sounded, the sky thundered, the earth shook, and this time the roar resounded throughout the outer city. The semi-saint who is at the top of the solar system is so angry that the city outside the territory trembles. In the sky, the phantom of the giant beast that covered the sky and the sun appeared. The pale and fierce eyes as big as the sun stood in the sky, looking down at the entire outer city, scanning over and over again, as if they were trying to escape from the sea. Fish out the two thin needles. Only. When the evil eye scanned the station of Big Dipper, it suddenly paused obviously and remained motionless for a long time. He saw Xiao Qinglian. At the same time, Xiao Qinglian looked up at the sky and saw him. Small eyes and huge eyes soul meet. Get together? Get together? Come to me. Xiao Qinglian said. Are there any semi-saints in the outer city? You can't see it on the surface, but you can say that there must be, and there are more than one. It's just that the half-saints who are now in the outer city have no foundation at all. The semi-saints who practice alone do not belong to a certain race or a big force. But among the semi-saints who are coming to the outer city now, the closest one is Blue Star's second expeditionary force. Because they have arrived. On the Blue Star main ship of the second expeditionary force, an immortal Bone Dao Feng with a fluttering white beard looked at the shadow of Daodi in the sky above the outer city. His face showed a contemplative look, and he didn't know what he was thinking. Something. This is the leader and commander of the Blue Star Second Expeditionary Force, and the Dean of the Demon Academy, one of the permanent directors of the Federation. Beside the Dean, a handsome young man stood respectfully. Teacher, we have arrived at the outer city. Should we go in now or stay where we are? The young man asked. Just go in. The Dean said calmly, Zikiu, I will take you to meet my old friend. Zikiu's eyes also focused on the phantom of Daodi that covered the sky. Is this him the teacher was talking about? It hadn't been long since he set off from Blue Star, but he had been worried about the situation of his junior students. Don't you know Yejing and Gray are still alive? With their ability to cause trouble, it must be a miracle that they are still alive, right? The six-star time and space was rotating, and Yejing's first regular time and space travel ended in confusion. In an open space somewhere in the outer city, a dazzling light emerged on the ground, and the six-pointed star array appeared without warning, bringing two young people with it. The moment Yejing came down from the six-pointed star formation, he knelt on the ground and retched. His brain was confused and his stomach felt extremely uncomfortable. He still hadn't figured out why the space transfer was so uncomfortable. Is this the legendary quantum theory? Seeing Yejing in such a mess, Zhao Xingbang seemed very calm and nothing happened. Maybe it was because he often used six-star time and space to escape, so he was used to it, right? Zhao Xingbang asked, Are you okay? Yejing waved his hand and climbed up from the ground with difficulty. He waited for a while before speaking. He first looked around with confused eyes. The sky was getting dark and he didn't know where he was. Do you know where this place is? Zhao Xingbang shrugged his shoulders, spread his hands and said, I don't know. The situation is urgent. 6-star time and space chose random teleportation, but the range should be within a radius of 300 miles of Holy Light City. This is the limit distance. It's not that far away even though it's 300 miles in radius. If it was a random teleportation, then they would be lucky to be able to randomly land in an open space. If they were teleported to a foreign race's territory, or to that beauty's bathroom, it would be embarrassing to death. After thinking for a while, Yejing turned on his exploration radar. Target, Xiaoqinglian. Distance, unknown. Whether to consume 100,000 energy to explore. Insufficient energy, please recharge. Gone again? Yejing waved his hand, and 100,000 spirit stones turned into nothingness. Here, come with me. Let's go back to the station and hide for a while. Old man Dowdy will not overturn the entire outer city to look for us two juniors. This makes sense. The matter is not serious. It's okay to hide for a few days. In this way, the two of them walked towards the station. But in the Baidu Star Station, a guest came. Xiao Qinglian entertained the gluttonous old man in the hall. Dogui held the tea that Xiao Qinglian had brewed himself in one hand, and looked at Xiao Qinglian with a loving look as if he was looking at his granddaughter, with a smile on his face, without any anger. Old man, why are you looking at me like that? Xiao Qinglian said unhappily, feeling uncomfortable under such a kind gaze, with goosebumps all over her body. Dogui laughed, I just didn't expect that the green lotus I saw back then is still alive and has transformed. After saying that, he sighed and said gloomily, I didn't expect that the first old person I met in the new generation was the green lotus that I gave up eating because it was not enough to fill my teeth. Xiao Qinglian rolled her eyes and said lightly, should I thank you for being merciful back then? She also called Dogui to be her guest because she had something to ask. After chatting for a while, Xiao Qinglian's face straightened and became serious. She asked in a deep voice, what happened at the end of the last era, do you know? She called the old man Dowdy with a respectful title, which was also appropriate. After all, when she was just a green lotus for spiritual awakening, the old man Dowdy was a prehistoric beast that could compete with the true saint. However, she didn't expect that after so many years, this Dowdy's cultivation level would regress and become a semi-saint. When the old man Dowdy heard Xiao Qinglian's question, he couldn't help but smile bitterly on his old face, I don't know either. When the catastrophe was about to come, I sealed myself and lingered on. I don't know what happened at the end. Why are all of them passive skills? Author, Bulletin G. Bayet. Chapter 368. Times have changed, and no one knows what happened back then. As a giant beast from the last era, when Deji sensed the coming of the catastrophe, he sank his huge body into the bottom and deepest part of the solar system and began a deep sleep that lasted for an unknown period of time. When he woke up again, everything had changed. The solar system was already in pieces, the cosmic energy invaded, the spiritual energy revived, and his cultivation was lost in the endless years, falling from the holy realm to the semi-holy realm. Under the erosion of the long river of time, he kept walking in the solar system for 100 years, and all the lives of the last era disappeared. It was unknown whether they were all dead or had escaped before the solar system was blocked. The long time passed and no one could stop it. When Deji woke up, the world tree was just a small seed stationed on Jupiter. When he discovered the world tree at that time, he stood in front of the world tree for 10 years, resisting the desire to swallow it, and protecting it until the world tree grew and the elves appeared, and he left silently. The world tree was the first creature from the previous era that he sensed, and Xiao Qinglian was the first old person he met. It was not quite right to say that he was an old person, after all, when Xiao Qinglian was just an uncivilized Qinglian, she was just food that escaped from his mouth. And now, that Qinglian, after transforming into a spirit, was still alive, which made this old man feel very happy. The more the old mandaji looked at Xiao Qinglian, the more he smiled. If he was not too old, he would have thought she was a pervert. Is there no other life from the previous era in this era? Xiao Qinglian sighed, her expression bleak. If all creatures were divided into two categories, then she and the old mandaji belonged to the same category, and all the remaining creatures belonged to the other category. Is there only a few lives left in a once glorious era? Xiao Qinglian thought sadly. No one knew what era it was, even Xiao Qinglian and the old mandaji had forgotten their memories. I just vaguely remember that the glory of that era was many times more glorious than now. The number of true saints alone is enough to crush the current half-saints. It's just a pity that the unknown catastrophe has ended, and I don't know if the saints' inheritance has been left. Thinking of this, Xiao Qinglian's eyes suddenly lit up and asked, "Have you heard about what happened on Pluto?" Old Mandogui nodded, "It's so big, how could I not have heard about it? It seems that someone has spread that there are true saint relics on Pluto. Do you plan to go and take a look?" Xiao Qinglian asked again. This. The old mandaji hesitated and smiled bitterly. "To be honest, the longer I live, the more I fear death. I really know the power of the saint. If it is fake, it's okay, but if it is real, the saint's ruins are not so easy to break into. Even if it is me, I will be seriously injured and unable to recover, or even turned into ashes. This is not a joke. Really?" A trace of shock flashed in Xiao Qinglian's eyes. She knew a little about the strength of the old mandaji, but she didn't know anything about the true saint. She was not qualified to contact such a powerful person back then. But if it is really as the old mandaji said, it would be a bit scary, right? After all, this is a thing that has been dead for an era, and it is unknown how many years. Just the title of a saint can scare the old mandaji away. The true saint is really so terrifying. Since there was nothing to be said from the old man Dao Tui, Xiao Qinglian lost interest immediately. Her face was listless, and her petite body leaned on the sofa. She said casually, "Old man, you were so angry just now. What happened? Did someone offend you? Don't mention it." It would have been fine if he didn't mention it. As soon as he mentioned it, the old man Dao Tui was so angry that his teeth itched. He said angrily, "I have been hunting geese all day and let the geese peck my eyes. I don't know where two little brats came from. They used a golden shovel that I don't know what it was and knocked me out with one shovel. What a shame. What a shame. I am a great beast Dao Tui, a semi-saint, and I was actually tricked by two little bastards in the underground palace realm. Just don't let me meet them. Otherwise, I will have to eat their meat and drink their blood." The old man Dao Tui was full of anger. He didn't notice that Xiao Qinglian's face suddenly froze, and his body straightened up involuntarily. Shovel. Golden shovel? Two little brats? Underground palace realm. Xiao Qinglian suddenly shuddered in her heart, and suddenly remembered something. The old Mandogui was previously in the battleship of Shengguang City. And Yejing and Zhao Danggong also followed King Li to Shengguang City. They happened to be in the underground palace realm. And she seemed to remember that Zhao Danggong had always had a golden shovel hanging around his waist. Is it a coincidence? Could this be a coincidence? It's a coincidence. All signs indicate that the two people that the old Mandogui wants to eat alive are Yejing and Zhao Danggong. So where did they run to? There is no one to rely on in the outer city. After escaping from Shengguang City, there are only two places to go. One is King Li, and King Li lives in the inner city, which ordinary people cannot get close to, so they have only one choice. It's here. Suddenly, Xiao Qinglian stood up suddenly and pulled up the old Mandogui who was sitting on the sofa. The old Mandogui looked confused and asked, "What are you doing?" Wipe the kid's butt? Xiao Qinglian cursed inwardly, and a sweet smile appeared on her cute and fair face. In that case, you should go find your enemies first, and we can get together when we have time. But I'm not in a hurry, it's okay, that thing is not important. Important? Why not? Xiao Qinglian said solemnly, your face is the most important thing. The old Mandogui looked unwilling. He was an old widower, and he finally met an old acquaintance, and a little girl who was as cute as his granddaughter. Naturally, he wanted to chat more. However, Xiao Qinglian didn't dare to keep him, and pushed him out hard, pushing the old Mandogui out of the door. Next time I go to Shengguang City as a guest, I will contact you next time. Okay, what communication device do you use? Otherwise, let's add a super QQ. My super QQ number is 521-1314. Remember to add me as a friend. I am a super blogger, old Mandogui, don't let me follow me. You are so damn fashionable. Xiao Qinglian said with a smile on her face, remember, I will go to Shengguang City to find you in the next 2 days, don't forget to prepare a big meal for me. What to eat? Living people or dragon meat? Energy stones. Just when Xiao Qinglian was about to send the old man away, her face suddenly changed. Because outside the station, a voice that she was very familiar with came out. Yejing and Gray are back.